So I've drawn about, let's call it a 2,000 square meter floor plan. And in the Australian market, in the city market, let's call it, if you're trying to hit a rent equivalent, the ratio is probably going to look something like this: 60%, 40%. So 60% is going to be allocated to a variety of sizes of private offices, and the 40 is going to be your remaining area. That's going to be a mixture of front of house, circulation, amenities, facilities, circulation buffer. So, enough areas even on the plan if we're just at test fit stage to make sure you're not opening doors into anything or whatnot. That's going to be the allocation, because you need 60% of the NLA to be allocated to those private offices to generate the income for the market rent. And the reason why the 60% is mainly private offices and also not a mixture of event space and meeting spaces, that's more in the 40% category, is the private offices, depending on what sizes they are, they could be small or large, depending on what that market demands, the area of this building, let's say, is because that product anchors in, 6 to 24 months of license revenue. Those types of customers normally book those out, 1, 2, even 3 years at a time right now. So that's a good way to get cash flow in and not have it varying too much, right? Whereas meeting spaces and event spaces, even though they're highly commercial and great, they're booked generally on the hour or by the day. So you can't really, confidently forecast that as much as anchoring people in your private offices. So that's why it's the 60-40 split. Now, what's interesting is, just as a bit of history and what's been going on in Flex, the 60-40, the 60% previously in terms of desk allocation, let's rewind 4 or 5 years, used to itself be split into almost like a 60-40 ratio of private offices and open plan desks, right? Open plan desks, think of, your general co-working desks where there's no partitions, there's no security. And the main purpose for that back in the day was they were almost like a feeder for the private offices. So how do we get really small companies that can't afford a private office to incubate them to get a private office, right? Over the years, we found that 40% doesn't really work. And that's kind of grown to more of an 80-20 ratio, more private offices, and even to this day, even a 90-10, right? Where the open plan desks are less as an incubator product mix, frankly, more used from a design element to help the floor plan breathe a little. So it doesn't just feel like an ant farm of offices, right? And that's also because of the customer demographic has now shifted more to enterprise style clients, not just smaller startups, right? And they want a level of security and privacy, okay? Whilst on this topic, even though you could anchor some of this with very large private offices, which would be great to fill and just kind of say, 40% of it's occupied with these major tenants, there is risk that comes with that, because if you lose those major tenants, your cash flow is going to take a hit as a business, right? And sometimes you just can't control that, which is why we generally advise to kind of go, depending on your market, for the, 8 to 12, 5 to 10. And I know that gets expensive with the current fit out costs in that market right now, but those smaller offices move really well and they're really easy to control. Granted, within the floor plan, you might find an area where you could design it in a way that if you do find a large tenant that wants to, stay with you for a long enough time to justify knocking some walls down and facilitating it, go for it. What do you call it? The modular walls and offices are very expensive. So sometimes it's better just to knock them down, right? And also when you design and build one of these flex sites, you normally have enough time leading up to it where you could potentially do an EOI or capture some of the interest of some of the larger tenants so you know how you can build around that. So that could be a consideration as well. Now, if you're going to do, we'll rub that out. If you're going to do a more tenant amenity focused thing, it could still be 60-40 and you get really creative how you treat that 40% NLA to put in some amenities, but I don't think that's really going to cut it. It's not really going to feel like it's for the tenants. It's going to feel like, a pretty generic co-working space, even if you dress it up really well and have everyone remember everyone's names. It's going to look more 50-50 or 40-60, right? So the 40% or the 50% of private offices and some open plan is enough to generate income to maybe not hit a market rent, but close to it, or a percentage of it that you're happy as an owner or as a major tenant just trying to get rid of some surplus space If it's covering outgoings and covering half of the rent, you're happy because it's sleeping there anyway, right? Then you suddenly have 50% or 60% of that space to fill with more thoughtful amenities. So not just, oh, let's just chuck in a clubhouse, let's just chuck in a work cafe, which are all great, but you could get a lot more surgical here and be like, oh, what if we put in not only a open plan, multi-purpose event space, so for more of the informal stuff or the fun stuff, so if you can activate it with lots of events or community-driven stuff, a private, more hotel-style event space, because security is king right now, so a lot of companies will want to host stuff that they don't want other people to see. You could have a bunch of different communal areas. You could have a wellness area. Library spaces are quite hot right now. You see everyone doing them because, there is an element, I guess, of quietness is nice. I probably didn't even say that correctly, but you know where I'm going with that. And podcast studios. The creator economy, I think, is poised to really boom right now. So having some of those facilities in these spaces would be great, because it's not just for people at home trying to create content. You've got a lot of companies that now are trying to reach people and grab their attention in different ways, and digital content creation is the way to do it. And they may not have the spaces or the equipment to do it. So if you put it in there, that could be good. I've always thought a cool idea for this is, like, even the lighting in this room right now, there is no natural light, right? You start with a dark room and then you've got lamps and lights pointed in every direction at yourself so that you've got good lighting, which is great. In real estate, if you've got dark areas, just put that room there, because whoever's creating content will love you for it, because their preference is to start with a dark room and then start from lighting from there to do it properly. So you can put stuff like that in there. So you can kind of see the range of the 60-40 split, very commercial, and going to the 40-60. And there's a lot of considerations and detail that goes into this, but I think that's a really good starting point to have a general understanding of as an investor, whether you're a landlord or a tenant looking at this stuff, because it all matters. And if you've got this, foundation of, okay, the floor plan is going to look like this if I'm going to ask for a rent equivalent, or I'm not too bothered on hitting 100% of the market rent equivalent, I'd be happy with a 60 to 80% equivalent of that if it's running well, then you're going to get a space that breathes a lot more and is more amenity focused and could be more tenant or employee focused. So I hope that was helpful.